There are 5 typical reasons why organizations ask to have a scorecard built. They're trying to ask questions around valuation, navigation, compensation, calibration, or evaluation. This webinar takes you through a brief tour of what this means in terms of your selection of metrics. So a scorecard can really deliver or view the organization through 5 distinctly different windows. One is a valuation view. How do we translate the activities that the organization is doing into dollars and cents? Now, the issue here is that with most organizations, over 80% of its value comes from intangible assets: brand, human capital, customer capital, and structural capital. And the problem is our accounting systems don't see those intangible assets very well, nor do they account for them. The balanced scorecard provides a much better tool to creating visibility of those intangible assets and making them available to be converted into a financial measure. Secondly, navigation. Most scorecards fit in this category. A navigation scorecard is trying to help management do just that: navigate, decide whether to turn right or left. Knowing the value of the business doesn't help me make those decisions. I need to know strategy and direction to make navigational decisions. The third is compensation. How do we compensate individuals in the organization for their great work? Fourth is calibration. How do we benchmark or compare our organization against others to determine whether we're doing the right things or not? And then finally, evaluation. This is what we provide to external shareholders so they can more accurately evaluate how management has been doing. So the issue between each of these is that they really answer different questions. Valuation is going to help shareholders determine whether this is a good investment or not. Navigation helps internal managers make effective decisions. Compensation helps us make sure that we're outcome focused and rewarding the right activities. Calibration makes sure that we're remaining where we should be relative to other players in the marketplace. And evaluation helps us communicate to external stakeholders how we're performing. So if we take a strategy map, we can use the same strategy map for all 5 views. We just need different indicators for each one of them. So here's some examples. Let's just drill in, for example, on, say, customer intimacy. So if we're taking a look at a valuation view, the indicator for customer intimacy might be things like the valuation of the lifetime relationship with that customer. Maybe that's just the lifetime revenue. For the same objective, if I want a navigation view, am I making the right decisions moment to moment, I might take a look at number of customer contacts, the number of emails, phone calls, face-to-face visits, and so on, as an indicator of whether we're creating a better customer intimate environment. On compensation, I'm going to look for more of an outcome-related metric, things like customer retention rates or customer attraction rates. What has happened because we have done the right activities? Calibration, benchmarking against other members in my group. Maybe it's, say, customer turnover. That may be the customer related data you have in industry or world-class standard databases. And evaluation, what do we show the board of directors? Well, maybe once a year we have to do that expensive customer survey so we have a more quantitative, precise, and rigorous analysis of how we're doing. So you can see that we have the same strategic objective, but depending on the question or customer audience that we're trying to communicate to, we may be choosing a different metric that will help them get their head around it. Now, this is a bit of a trick. In the fullness of time, you'd really like to use one metric that satisfies all of these needs. But to a certain extent, we have to train those different stakeholders on what does it mean to use this one particular metric, and how can we make ourselves more effective at gathering that data. So in the fullness of time, these 5 may compress down to 1 or 2 metrics in total. And some of these views may be inappropriate for your organization. A simple example is in the public sector or NGOs, we probably don't need any form of valuation metric because that's not going to influence how management makes decisions.